Hey, how's it going, guys? This is your boy Hazzed, and today I gotta give you guys an update on the 7.1 PTR coming up, of course, on the 25th. They decided to change Chill Streak and give us a couple extra raw damage buffs. So I'm gonna go ahead and talk about that in this video, guys, and go ahead and show you some of the in-game changes, of course. So, let's do this.
Welcome to a world where the air I breathe is mine. Nothing too overwhelming and nothing that grab my mind. Be anyone, do anything I'd ever want to try. Time doesn't exist here, I will never die.
Here we got the notes for the 7.1 patch coming up, guys. Right on the top, you notice Chill Streak is down from 8% damage to 5% damage, and it used to bounce 8 times down to 5 times. Now, later on in the video, I have a little confusion about this. Guys, right now I'm going to give you my opinion on it. It's garbage. It is nasty. I don't know why they did that to it. That is terrible. They're not using it, not even going to step foot inside Chill Streak anymore. You guys literally just stuck that ability into the dirt. But that's okay, because some of the other buffs are pretty nice. They are making us actually, of course, have to deal our damage within rotation, which makes sense. Now, down at the bottom here, I'm going to skip over the Necrotic Strike. I don't feel like I can give you guys the nice comparison or really talk about what's going on with Unholy at the moment, since I'm really not as experienced with it, of course, as I am with Frost at the moment. Now, I'm going to go down to these other buffs. Now, Howling Blast is going to get a major upscale of 55% attack power scaling of Howling Blast to 82.5%, which is a nice raw damage buff. Frost damage to the foe, and looks like it's going from 46.8% damage up to 70.1% damage to the rest of the enemies in the area. So it is a nice buff to that enemy, and of course the AoE to the targets around. So we'll be receiving a nice DPS and of course AoE damage buff. This is going to most likely apply to PvE and PvP. The last one they did like this also did, and I did a recap of it on another video of the PvP section of a couple of little buffs, kind of as a way to show you guys that it did apply to PvP. And some people were a little confused about that because I was recapping some old notes. So if you guys watch that one, you'll understand now that that's why I did that. Now going on to the bottom one, we got Obliterate. Now, Obliterate is a large portion of your DPS, especially if you're playing the Breath spec, which most likely I will be playing after this patch, because the consistency spec, I believe, is going to take a little bit of a hit. So as we see here, Obliterate is getting quite a large buff. It used to do 760% weapon damage. Now will deal 912% weapon damage, which is like 100 and something percent upgrade. Just insane, guys. These patch notes currently, just these ones are amazing. I do have one more to talk about. I almost actually missed this one altogether, which is, it's actually pretty big, but guys, let's talk about that. The last one, but definitely not least, is going to be Rune Foraging. Basically, it's going to amp up our Rune Foraging damage for our Frost damage stack by 1 more per stack. So in the end, it's going to add up to 5% extra Frost damage from all sources. Of course, increasing our breath, increasing everything. Now, mainly this is going to happen in PvP. I almost said the wrong letter there. And the reason is because PvP, Rune of Razor Ice doesn't work. Blizzard, why doesn't this work? I haven't seen an answer to it. If anyone knows, let me know down in the comments. I want to know. Why doesn't this work in PvP? Fix it! Overall, how do I feel about these changes? I'd have to say Chill Streak, it's still gonna be alright. Problem is, it nerfed the single target damage by 1% on the target, so it is technically a nerf to the main target you're trying to deal damage to, but it is dealing an extra 6% on the off target. So it kind of is a nerf, it kind of isn't, but I feel like it's more of a nerf since it has to bounce 8 times instead of course, 5 times, making the damage not come out nearly as fast, elongating it. So after that change, I don't think I'm going to be using Chill Streak. I was kind of excited for the strength that it had before, but now that they did that to it, it's kind of depressing, and I don't really want to go there. Yeah. Anyways, talking about overpower. Why does that say only bouncing 5 times? That's why I was confused, because obviously the patch notes say it's going to bounce 8 times. It still says it's going to bounce 5 times. I don't know why that's not updated yet, or why that's not working. Who knows? But, yeah, that's why I was looking at it kind of funny. I was like, what's going on here? It's supposed to say something else. But anyways, yeah, a little confusion there. Going to the next one, obviously I'm going to be using my Empowered Rune Weapon if I'm going to be playing my PvP, of course, with the Breath spec, because that's going to give us a 1 minute cooldown on our Empowered Rune Weapon and or Hungering Rune Weapon. Now, right now, if I hit the PvP dummy, it doesn't actually proc and work, so of course I can't actually show you, of course, the shorter Breath spec in action. I wish I could. Now, if I was going to go for the consistent spec and I'm not using Breath, and I was kind of using the one I did on my video yesterday, I would probably go at this point with Tundra Stalker. And it kind of sucks for the consistency spec, because I feel like the consistency spec is taking a slight nerf when it comes to DPS for these changes when it comes to PvP. But I feel like the Breath spec is actually receiving buffs to its kind of main style of how it works. Now, one of the nice things I've kind of noticed is the changes to Death Chill. Now, when you grip somebody, it applies Icy Chains automatically. And now you're thinking that might be kind of cruddy. Now that you have to actually hit the chains twice now to root them. But here is where it's actually better. Before, I was limited by how many people I could control with my chains, whether it was a 1v3, because I couldn't hit multiple targets, since Death Chill was based on a cooldown currently on live. Now that it is not on a cooldown, I can go up to a target, hit him with chains, and my chains is not bound to any button. That's weird, I'll just move it. Alright, I can hit him with chains, I can chains their friend, I can chains their other friend over there, and then I can go back to chainsing this target. Now the second chains is going to hit him with a Frozen Root. Now that Frozen Root is going to be really good for Tundra Stalker, because of course that root, that snare, is going to increase that damage and that Frost Strike damage on the target. So that's going to be really nice. So I'm going to again be able to spam Icy Chains on people to generate a ton of runic power, and of course get away from targets, which is going to be a good solid buff for us when it comes to 1v1ing and or being in arena situations, since it became a lot harder to control that. Really looking forward to the raw damage buff when it comes to Howling Blast and Obliterate. I almost said Frost Strike, guys, and I hope you're looking forward to this too. Some of the changes are going to help us quite a bit when it comes to mechanical survivability and having a little bit more style with how we do things, and being a lot less reliant on raw damage, which I'm pretty excited for with that change. It's going to make it so I can actually fight a lot more classes when it comes to 1v1 situations a lot better, and be able to actually use that mobility and or lack of mobility that I have and the chains to actually control people. So guys, I'm looking forward to it. Go ahead and leave a like on this video if you are excited for this. Leave a comment if you're not. Leave a comment if you have any ideas or any thoughts to what's going on here. Until next time, guys, this was your boy Hazzed. Leave a like.